What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the Hoopercast. I am your host, Hamad, aka CourtsideCapital. And man, what a week of NBA basketball has it been? It hasn't even been basketball. That's not even the biggest news in the league right now. The big major three stories have not been about basketball. They've been about other stuff outside of basketball that are just not defaming the NBA, but like not putting a good name on the NBA, you know. First, you got the Kyrie Irving situation up there in Brooklyn. And it's just, I don't know, man. That's just a complete shit show. It's insane how bad this team I don't know if that's even the correct term, has been organizationally. And I guess it's not even the organization, because Joe Tsai has been owning this team, and Sean Marks has been GMing or kind of running this team for a long time. So it really has not been the organization, but the way they're handling this, it's just not good. I mean, the moment I wouldn't go that far, but the moment Kyrie stepped foot in Brooklyn, everything has been downhill, mostly. I guess their best time as a franchise with Kyrie Irving has been when they traded for James Harden. And they played those 16 games, which they went, I think, like 13-3 in. So that has been the best part of this team. Like, the only part that every Nets fan should be happy about is that because everybody just thought that nobody's going to stop this super team. That probably was one of the greatest, or probably the greatest big threes ever assembled. Kyrie, James Harden, and KD. But, you know, nothing worked out. And in my opinion, the major reason of none of that working out is Kyrie Irving. Because I wouldn't say it was his injuries, because he did get injured in the 2021 playoffs, and in my opinion, they would have beat the Bucks if they had Kyrie. They almost beat the Bucks without Kyrie and James Harden on one leg. Props to James Harden in that Game 7. If you guys don't remember, he was just playing on one leg, and I think that was the game where KD sat out for a couple of minutes. I think Steve Nash was like, "You gotta sit out. There's no way you can keep playing." He sat out, and James Harden on one leg was making plays. He was doing his thing. That was probably the best. The most motivated I've seen James Harden play in the playoffs. And at a motivation factor, that probably was his best game. So, I don't know. It's just, and then later on, you know, the vaccination stuff. And I think that's what steered James away from Brooklyn, because he just wanted to play basketball. But there's so much drama surrounding that team and during that time that you really could not play basketball. And that's the same thing right now. I mean, they did win last night against the Wizards. KD just went off. It's insane how good KD is. But I mean, they beat the Wizards. You know, KD dropped Daniel Gafford, even though I don't count that as an ankle breaker, because he did slip on a wet spot. If you guys watch a clip from another angle, you can see, like, I think his right foot just slips on some sweat over there. And KD did say in the postgame interview that he thought he slipped on a wet spot, so he didn't know. But yeah, honestly, I would just say that this team just needs to find its footing, man. But I think that Kyrie has played his last game in the NBA. Not the NBA, for the Brooklyn Nets. Probably. I don't know how he will make it worse, but it could be possible that Kyrie starts to make this worse for himself and for the organization and for the NBA as a whole. I just want to read a statement that the Brooklyn Nets released following his suspension for 5 games. Over the last several days, we have made repeated attempts to work with Kyrie Irving to help him understand the harm and danger of his words and actions, which began with him publicizing a film containing deeply disturbing anti-Semitic hate. We believe that taking the path of education in this challenging situation would be the right one, and thought that we had made progress with our joint commitment to eradicating hate and intolerance. We were dismayed today when given the opportunity in media session that Kyrie refused to unequivocally say he has no anti-Semitic beliefs nor acknowledge specific hateful material in the film. This was not the first time he had the opportunity but failed to clarify. Such failure to disavow anti-Semitism when given a clear opportunity to do so is deeply disturbing and is against values of our organization and constitutes conduct up to the team. Accordingly, we are of the view that he is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. We have decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that addresses the harmful impact of his conduct, and the suspension period served is no less than 5 games. So, as you can see, the thing that caught me was he is currently unfit to be a part of the Brooklyn Nets. It's insane that that a team would say that about one of their star players, that he's currently unfit. But Kyrie would be the only one, and the Brooklyn Nets would be the only one to say this about Kyrie Irving. I don't know, man. It's just complete, utter madness in Brooklyn. I feel bad for any Nets fans, even if there are already Nets fans left, because I think they're like last in ticket sales and nobody goes to their games. Literally, it's like insane how empty you watch a Brooklyn Nets game, and if they show like the top of, like, they have these cameras like in the corner of the stadiums. Sometimes, like, they show like shots when they're doing some advertisements or something. If they ever, like, if you're watching a Brooklyn Nets game, just look at that and see how empty that stadium is. Even when they're playing games, like in the when the shot of the court, you can see the background with like the fans in the back. Like, it's like so many seats are like empty, and you can clearly see that. It's I just feel bad for bad for KD. He has to be in the situation. I mean, do I blame him for leaving Golden State? I don't know if I would, because people just want new situations, and I think he was just at that point where he wanted something new, and he got that. He got that whatever he wanted with a team with Kyrie Irving, and I mean, he had some set of rules. He wanted DeAndre Jordan with him. I think it was Kenny Atkinson. I mean, I think Kenny Atkinson got fired later on in the season. But even I mean, Kenny Atkinson was better coach than what they have right now with Steve Nash. I mean, he's gone. Jacques Vaughn is now the coach. I mean, Ime Udoka might get hired. Nothing is confirmed yet. I don't think it's confirmed that Ime Udoka has been hired. I think it says it will take 24 to 48 hours to confirm the hiring of Ime Udoka for the Brooklyn Nets. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about this team. We'll see what happens in, like, I don't know, next for episode 9. Kyrie might be out of this team. He might be on another team. Might be on the Lakers. But I don't even know if the Lakers want to trade for Kyrie at this point. The way he's messing this team up, he might mess the Lakers up with all the mess they're in. Even though the Lakers played amazing. Why not talk about the Lakers right now? Man, I'm so happy for Russell Westbrook. He's finally getting that bench role that we've always wanted him to do since he stepped foot in LA. I mean, not since he stepped foot. I mean, everybody was like, oh my God, they got a super team now. The Lakers got a super team. But none of that worked out. Ever since we noticed that this would not work out, we were like, Russ, you need to come off the bench, get your own starting unit, not like start, running that bench unit. And Darvin Ham was the coach. I finally convinced him that he could do that, and he's adapted to that, and he's been playing absolutely amazing. I think he dropped like 26 and something on like 9 of 14 shooting last night against the Jazz, which they won. I mean, the Jazz won, not the Lakers. I mean, it was a pretty decently close game. I watched the fourth. But it just they don't. Besides Russ, LeBron, and AD, I was just thinking about this. Their whole team is just minimum paid players. Like you have Lonnie Walker, who's on a minimum contract, and who else was on that court with them? It was Pat Bev. I think he's also on a minimum contract because he got bought out. Did he get bought out or did he get? I think he got traded, so he's not a minimum contract. But yeah, this team is just not like it's not built well. They just need some shooting, and I don't know if that comes in the way of trading for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield for Russell Westbrook. Even though Miles Turner was campaigning on the Woj pie that. But I don't know what you would call that. Is that tampering? You can't tamper yourself, So I don't know what you would call that. I mean, I was listening to a mismatch with Kevin O'Connor and Chris Vernon last night, and he said that he talked to some Pacers players, and they're like, he's been on the trading block for so long, so I don't know. It doesn't matter to us, I guess. We've gone over it. We don't care about that right now. But it was funny that he was just like advocating to get traded to the Lakers. He was like, if the Lakers have me, we can be so good together. We can mesh together. The shooting would be amazing. My shooting that would bring to the Lakers would just be absolutely amazing. I was like, oh my God, that's insane. And I don't know what his trade value at this point is. Even if you're not trading him to the Lakers, what is his trade value? I think his trade value peaked in like 2021, I guess, that summer, but they still did not trade him. But I don't know what you're going to do with Miles Turner at this point. He's still a pretty good player, but we'll see. What else? Oh, yeah. The other two stories that came out that were non-basketball. We'll talk about basketball later on in the pod, but let me just get through these two. Was of Josh Primo getting released. I think he got released that night of the podcast came out. So I really could not. So I didn't have time to talk about that throughout the week, but Josh Primo got released, and he's currently getting sued by their sports psychiatrist, their team psychiatrist, Dr. Hillary Cawthon, and she alleged that Josh Primo has exposed himself in multiple incidents. And after the lawsuit came out, the Spurs released a statement. We disagree with the accuracy of the facts, details, and timeline presented today. While we would like to share more information, we will allow the legal process to play out. Our organization remains committed to upholding the high standards, and we will continue to live by our values and culture. I mean, that's right. The Spurs are like the dream franchise. They have the perfect, the values, the cultures. It's like absolutely good, absolutely amazing, and that's like the top of the tier organization. They have an amazing organization. So reports coming out about this, and after reading the report, it was like she went multiple instances during the 2021 season. I think that was last season. She went to their GM and kept saying that Josh Primo was doing this to me, and the GM would just say, I'll send over our lawyers and they will talk this over with you. They did that, and nothing came out of that. They were like, we will try to keep him away. Even after she came to the GM, Josh Primo was still coming to the psychiatrist, Dr. Cawthon, and after the lawyers stepped in, they made it that Josh Primo would not be with Dr. Cawthon alone in a room, and after that, I think she left later on. This was at least 9 instances of Josh Primo exposing himself. The first incident allegedly occurred during a psychological session with Primo in December of 2021, and she reported it in January 2022. I think a month later, and he was released like suddenly, and nobody, like, I was like, what is going on with Josh Primo? Why did he just get released? And Primo, through his attorney, did deny all those allegations. He said playing to an ugly stereotypes and racially charged fears for her own financial benefit. I don't know where I've read like all of this, right? I don't know where it says anything about race. So I guess he is just trying to I don't know, trying to play the race card, if that's what you call it. But I don't know. In an act of betrayal against her young client, Dr. Cawthon, who's 40 years old, falsely claims Josh Primo exposed himself to her during the course of numerous therapy sessions. Dr. Cawthon's allegations are either a complete fabrication, a gross embellishment, or utter fantasy. Josh Primo never intentionally exposed himself to her or anyone else. It was not even aware that his private parts were visible outside of his workout shorts. Okay, so this is funny. He said he never intentionally exposed himself. So I don't know what he means by that he intentionally exposed himself. That he unintentionally, that he never intended to expose himself to Dr. Cawthon, which makes no sense. I mean, it's like there's no way over 9 therapy sessions. Even there has to be like, even if she told him, right, he would have known, and over those 9 sessions he kept on doing the same thing. So how is it after therapy session 1? She probably told him, "Oh, you're exposing yourselves. Can you stop that?" And therapy session number 2, he does the same exact thing. So how is it that it's unintentional? It just never makes sense to me. But I don't want to get too deep into this. We'll see what happens with this. Is Josh Primo's career over? We don't know yet. It could be possible. Some other team could pick him up, but this was honestly the best situation for Josh Primo. He was 19 years old. I mean, you look at all those guards that were developed in this Spurs stratosphere, like this bubble of San Antonio, and you see like Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, DeJounte Murray, Kawhi Leonard. You see all these star players who were young and raw talents who came into the league and just became amazing all-stars. So this was his best situation. There was I don't know what other situation would be better for him. I guess it's another young team like the Thunder, the Rockets, but I still say that this was his best opportunity to grow as an NBA player. But we'll see what happens with Josh Primo. Maybe he gets picked up from another team. It won't be the Spurs because they just waived him. But we'll see what happens with this case. We'll keep track with it, but I just don't want to get too much into it. And then you got the third and final non-basketball related story in the NBA. I think this all came out in like a span of like 24 to 48 hours. That Miles Bridges pleads no contest in felony domestic violence case. I don't know. I guess I just wanted to talk about this. I guess he's just going to be on 3 years of probation and no jail time. Is his career over? Probably. I mean, his career is definitely over, I guess. I don't see... I mean, he had such a young career. I mean, I wouldn't say definitely it is possible for another team to pick him up. I don't know what other team could pick him up. Like Pistons could pick him up. I don't see the Hornets. I think they still have their they never pulled his qualifying offer, so he's still on their roster. But I guess I don't know what's gonna happen now with this Hornets team. Even though we're in Hornets merch. They lost Miles Bridges. LaMelo Ball is still out. They beat the Warriors like last week. I just want to look at the standings real quick. So the Hornets currently are sitting at 13 with 3-6, which I guess is better than I expected them to be. I mean, they're better than the Magic and Pistons. I just want to say these bottom 3 teams just beat the Warriors. I want to touch base on the Warriors right after this, which is insane just to see. And who else beat the Warriors? Oh, the Heat. So 11, 13, 14, and 15, these teams on the road trip right now that they just finished, which they're 0-5 in, just beat the Warriors, and the Pelicans beat them last night. And where Steph, Clay, Draymond, and Wiggins were all resting on back-to-back, the back end of a back-to-back. And I don't know, man, what's up with these Warriors? It's just they changed up their rotations. I don't know. As a Warriors fan, am I worrying? I guess I am, because we are the first team after winning an NBA championship to go 0-6 on the road in NBA history. First team in NBA history, first NBA champion in NBA history. Season after to go 0-6 on the road. That has never happened, and it's insane that it's the Warriors, the 2022 NBA champion Warriors. This team, it's just their defense. I mean, their offense is pretty decent, but because you see, it's just you see Steph dropping like 30 bombs every single night. Clay and Steph combined for 15 of 20 last night. I mean, on Monday night, or no. When was the Magic game? Was it Thursday? Thursday night. So I don't know what's going on with this team, and if you have your Clay and Steph combining for 15 of 20 from the three, there's no way you should be losing a game to the Orlando Magic. I mean, Jalen Suggs had 26 in that game, but still, it's their defense and their young guys and their bench who has not been up to par to what the Warriors standards are. Because you have James Wiseman, who has just not been playing good. In my opinion, I guess I would send him down to the G League, have him develop there, play 35, 36 minutes a game, down in the G League. I think it's 48-minute games down there, right? Or is it 40? It's either 40 or 48. Yeah, I don't know how many minutes down there, but play him a lot of minutes, let him get the ball, and get his confidence up. He's just lacking confidence in that Magic game. There was a play at the end of the third. They were up like 15-2, by the way, the Warriors, and they just blew that lead. Where James Wiseman was on the floor, right? He came down. I think it was an offense, and I think he missed, like, he got an offensive foul or something. And no. It was over the back. Over the back. He got the rebound too, and it did not look like an over the back. But and then he was coming down the floor. He had his head down. He was just nodding. He was so out of the play, because at that point mentally you're not even thinking about the play that's going on. Your reaction time is just going to be like naturally just slower, because you're thinking about the play that just happened down the floor, and you're like, damn, how is that a foul? So coming down the floor, on the defensive end, I think he gave up. Not him. I think they gave up a wide open three. Someone missed, and I think it was Chuma Okeke got the offensive board over James Wiseman, and James Wiseman, I wouldn't say he didn't box out. I mean, he kind of did box out, but Chuma Okeke just went over him, just got the board, went around him, got the board, and then he got the and one. And he threw the ball at the stanchion, the hoop, and he got a tech, came out the game. They missed the and one free throw. They made a technical free throw. They missed the and one free throw. Got the offensive rebound off that miss. Got a three, I think, off of Jalen Suggs' three. And then suddenly it's just they're in the game already. That's like a 5-6 point swing. And I think at that point they were up like 5. So I think they took a 1 point lead after that. And on the bench, Anthony Slater of The Athletic was just saying, he was right next to him and he was just yelling F-bombs, like, damn, like, and he knew at that point that he wasn't going to come back in the game. I guess it was like a mental thing as well. At that point, you're such a young player. He's a number 2 overall pick. He's 21 right now. He hasn't played basketball. He hasn't played that much basketball throughout his NBA career. He played a little bit in the 2021 season, but after tearing his meniscus, he didn't play the whole of last year. He started playing this year, but coming off the bench, I don't know what's going on with him. We'll see what happens I don't know. I mean, they exercised his player option or his qualifying offer, so he is going to stay with the team for the foreseeable future. I think it's this year and next year where he's going to be, and then after that he'll be or next year free agency he will be a restricted free agent, where he will be able to sign an extension or test his free agency and see where he can go, but I would just start playing Johnson Kuminga more. He showed amazing flashes last night against the Pelicans. I was watching that game, and he was just running down hard, putting his head down, going at Zion. I mean, Zion is not a good defender. If he wants to become an elite player, he needs to fix his defense. He was just letting Jonathan Kuminga just go right past him, get him wide open dunks, and they were in that game too against the Pelicans. I think they lost. I just want to pull out the box score. I think they lost by like 2 or 3. The Warriors, they lost by 9 actually, but it did not look like they were in that game. It was a close game the whole way through. I mean, Jordan Poole did not shoot well. He had that step back 3 over Zion, which I think he got it, and they gave him the lead or something, or brought it into 3. It was, I remember it was 101-104 at that point. That 3 got him to 101-104. But Anthony Lamb was surprisingly good. I did not expect Anthony Lamb to be this good. He was the only one making consistent effort on that floor with those 3 balls. We were just missing threes. I just want to see, what were we at 3-point line? 12 or 23, even though the Pels made 29. They made 12 threes as well, but they made 29 of them. So it's just this team, I don't know, it's just defense. Honestly, in my opinion, it's just defense. Defensively, this team is just out of it completely. You have James Wiseman, who played 17 minutes, 5.6 boards, 2 assists, and I don't know. It's just they need to develop these young guys better, a little more quicker than they anticipated. Because they thought that their bench was a little deep, even though I thought that too. I thought that they had one of the deepest teams in the league, but it's just their bench has not been contributing the way everybody has thought them to contribute. I mean, Jordan Poole is, I think, he's like second last in like plus minus in the NBA, because he's running the bench unit and they're just getting mobbed out the floor. And whenever the starters come out of the game and the bench goes in, they're like, are we gonna be down or are we gonna be tied when we go back in the game? So they're already like, what is going on with our bench? I don't know what's up with this team. This team can definitely fix itself. It's just some slight fixes with the rotations. I mean, Steve Kerr did say there's going to be some major fixes coming to this rotation. But we'll see what's going on with this Warriors team in next week. I mean, they're facing the Kings on Monday, I think, right? And look at their schedule. Yeah, they're facing the Kings on Monday, so that should be an easy win. And on Monday, all 15 teams, all 30 teams will be playing on Monday, which will be the first time in NBA history where all 30 teams play. It's a weird start time to these games. It's like 15-minute intervals. Like 8 o'clock is Wizards Hornets, 8:15 Rockets Magic, Thunder Pistons at 8:30, Pels Pacers at 8:45. So it's like every 15 minutes a new game starting. It's gonna be hard to keep up with all these games. I mean, like those first 4 games might not get any watch time for me. Like Wizards Hornets, Rockets Magic, unless it comes down to the wire. Lakers Jazz are playing again. Let me touch base on that Lakers Jazz game too. That was a pretty good game as well. The Jazz just look absolutely amazing. It's just they just threw so many players onto a team, like just figured it out, and they figured it out basically. And what's their coach's name? Matt Hardy. Yo, it's Hardy. It's something. Will Hardy. Will Hardy has been playing amazing brand of basketball. They're just moving the ball every single time. And then you got Mike Conley just playing. He just attacked 15 points, 2 boards, and 10 assists. And then you got Lauri Markkanen with his All-Star continuing with 27 and 13. What is he averaging on the season? I just want to look. 22, 9.5, and 2.7 assists. And you never know. He might get that All-Star nod. And Jordan Clarkson, too. He's playing amazing. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. I just want to talk about the Lakers. I'm happy Russ is finally finding his footing in this and on this team, finding that bench role. They're starting Troy Brown Jr. He's playing pretty decent, I guess. 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 of 6 from the 3. They shot a little better from the 3-point line. They shot 42%, 11 of 26. But I still want to see more, better efficiency from this team. And I think they can definitely do that. LeBron went 0-5. He had this back-to-back airball threes. Oh no, it wasn't back-to-back. I think the first 3 was just a miss. A bad 3. It was a bad 3. And the second one, I think it was like 128. It was 128, 116, and they needed a 3, and he just came down, and just took a wild 3 at the left wing, I think. Yeah, left wing, and he missed that. Airballed it badly. But Russ got 28, 3 and 6, and 9 and 14, and AD had a pretty decent showing tonight. 22, 8 and 2 from 9 and 17. So this team can definitely fix it. I still have those playing hopes for this team, for this Lakers team. They can definitely get to that playing spot. They're 2 and 6 right now. At this point, it's their defense and their shooting, and I think they can definitely fix those two. I mean, not their defense. Their defense is pretty decent. I got to give them props, but they did allow 130 points for the Utah Jazz, who averaged I think 115, 116 a game. So they were like 15 points above their average. But yeah, this team can definitely turn around they won their last game against the Nuggets or the Pelicans. They won their last game against the Pels. So I'm happy to see Russ doing good. Let's go to that Bucks Timberwolves game. The Bucks are 8-0, which I don't think anybody saw the Bucks being 8-0. Is this Giannis's unanimous MVP season? I saw P with the plug. Shout out to P. Tweet that this is his unanimous MVP for Giannis. He probably is my pick right now for MVP if I were to do a season awards. I'm probably gonna I'll do a 1 month in season awards like around the 17th, 18th. But yeah, it's just Giannis is just playing absolutely amazing. He scored 26, 14, and 11 off 7 of 17 from the field. And Drew Holiday had an amazing game too. I didn't watch this game. I thought the Bucks would win, so I didn't watch this game. I was focused on that Warriors, Pels, and Lakers Jazz game. But Drew Holiday had 29, 8 and 6, 12 of 24 from the field. Let me look at it. Timberwolves are just in a mess, man. What is their record right now? They're currently 4-5. I mean, I saw that clip of Rudy Gobert taking the 3, and he just airballed it wide left. I don't know why he took that 3. Cat had 22, 11 and 5, 9 of 19, and had 24, 3 and 3, 10 of 19. And Rudy Gobert just had 7 of 13. I don't know what's going on with this team. D'Angelo Russell, 3 of 15, 9 points. Man, oh man, whoa. He took 15 shots and only made 3 of them. That's an insane stat line. But I don't know what's going on with these Bulls out there. But we'll see how they figure it out. I think they could figure it out. But I'm just thinking like I had them like the 3rd seed, I think the 3rd or 4th seed or 5th seed actually in the West. But I thought they could mesh together, man. I thought they could work stuff out. But they clearly have not been able to. And And this team has just been a mess. It all started with Cat saying, y'all make fun of Ant, but it's not funny to me. The Ant be eating Popeyes every night after the game. And Ant was like, people just asking about the rotation that they're running right now, that Chris Finch is running right now. And he was like to the reporter, stop asking me questions about the rotations. I don't make these rotations. So I need you to stop asking me those. So he's just, I don't know what's going on with him, but and I think like the next game after, I think I was surprised to see that stat that he has 0 dunks this season, which is insane stat, 0 dunks. And when he was asked about that, he was like, what am I supposed to do? Everybody's in the paint. How am I supposed to get any dunks? And I'm supposed to shoot at that point. Because he has 0 dunks in this season. It's just insane that he does. Because he's like he's known for his high flying ability, but he can't get any of that done with this team. But we'll see what will happen with that. Trailblazers, Jeremy Grant just had the game winner, and he was just in his bag. 30 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. And Anthony Simons was not playing, and Dame wasn't playing either. So it was all Jeremy Grant show. And that's when Jeremy Grant needs to show up. He hit that game winner as well. The Suns had their full team tonight. The Suns are doing pretty good too. They're both 6-2 at this point. And I'm surprised that the teams are doing good, and the teams are doing bad. Because at the top of the West, it's just Trailblazers, Suns, Jazz, Grizzlies, Pels, Mavs, and Nuggets, and then you got the Clippers, and then the bottom you got like Timberwolves, Warriors, Kings, Lakers, and Rockets. So I don't know what's going on in the NBA. I guess it could all switch around. It's the NBA. In 1 week, you never know. The Warriors could be top 5, and the Lakers could be top 5, top 8 in the play-in bracket. You never know what happens in this league. So, I'm trying to see if there's anything else to talk about throughout the league. Did we talk about the Steve Nash firing? I guess we touched base on it, but, man, I'm happy that Steve Nash is gone, finally. It's better for him. It's better for his mental health. It was just messing with him, too. I think it was a mutual agreement. Sean Marks and Steve Nash are very close as friends. Same with Ime Udoka and Sean Marks. I think that's why Sean Marks did hire Ime Udoka. And props to Stephen A. because he predicted the same scenario happening. I think he said if Steve Nash ever gets fired, Ime Udoka will be their number one priority to get as a head coach, and Ime Udoka was hired as a head coach for this team. But I'm just happy that Steve Nash is gone, because I think we talked about this too in the last episode before he got fired. That it's just the offense he's running with this team is it's just not good, man. I don't know what's going on with the Nets. Well, I said this back then. I don't know what's going on with these Nets. It was just dribble, shoot. And it was either driving kicks. It was no set offense, no plays that he was running, no designated plays for Ben Simmons. That's why just Ben Simmons was hanging around that rim, doing nothing. He was just standing there. And even if he would get a pass, he would just pass it out again. Same thing. It was like a cycle. And I don't know what's going on with those Nets. But with Ime Udoka, I guess he could fix this. I don't know what he would fix. He has nothing with him. It's not like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and Al Horford and Rob Williams are coming with him. It's just Ime Udoka. So he has to find a way to use Ben Simmons the right way, and I think he could. And Ime Udoka does have some history with this team. I think it was a 2021 season. Before the last season, he was an assistant on Steve Nash's staff. So he does have some relationship with this team. So let's see what the Nets do in the next coming week when we go for episode 9. I think that's it for this episode. I'll see y'all for episode 9 sometime next week. So I hope you guys stay safe till then. See y'all then. Peace.